Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Silver Lantern Archives. Today we are continuing on with the Dominion of the Riftborns. Our party has found something rather concerning, but as for what and what's been happening that led up to this new discovery, I will let the person who's cursing their way through this tell us what's been going on. Xanth, Truckcoon's coming for you.
Such a dork. Um, so basically, last week we woke up in the cave after getting some much needed rest. And after waking up, the group rearmed ourselves so that we could actually be somewhat protected, as well as try to do some kind of planning on figuring shit out. Uh, Xanth had Junie find us a map of the area. We have pretty much learned that we are a long way from home, and that we're not getting home anytime soon, if ever. We're kind of stuck. Um, we were also informed that the church was going to be looking for us here relatively soon because they know we're here. And that basically our arrival has always been the herald of either great prosperity or uh
Absolute destruction.
cataclysmic
Malfeasance?
events. Yeah, cataclysmic events.
Shit's
So
about to
we
go
get
down.
pretty much. Um so after some discussion, uh obviously we still needed to save our friends that we left behind. Um and so we were waiting for uh uh oh god, what's her name?
Silvara?
No,
Saelwyn?
not Silvara. Saelwyn. To wake up, but it's gonna be like 18 hours.
At the
And so
minimum.
we were just, yeah, training and kind of debating on whether or not we were gonna go try and just save our friends with the collars on anyway. Um, so then we carry the worry of people's heads exploding. Uh, Cornelius finally got his head stuck out of it, unstuck out of his ass, uh, and recognized a thing. Um, but in his he was starting to go in on Xanth when there was some explosions outside, some red beams of light, in which it sounds we were told that a rift was opening, and those of us that didn't have collars and Bella decided to go investigate so that we could figure out exactly what was going on and how big it was. For Junie, who is a relics hunter, I believe is what she called herself.
Relic Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, um. So we trudged out into the blizzard, following the boofer. And well, we came across a giant uh red orb in the sky, and the temple, or not temple, the keep, absolutely destroyed. So all of our companions are now missing, and Xanth and Varen they're the ones that braved the bridge themselves as they were invisible.
They didn't even make it
And
to the
well,
bridge.
huh?
They didn't make it to the bridge. They went around the corner and went, shit.
Yeah. We went to go to the bridge, turned the corner, and got what everyone can see on the screen right now, and just went, ah, fuck. Ah, shit.
Oh,
Xanth
I
lost
see.
concentration because that was a that was a holy shit moment. Um and is currently got a death grip on Varen's hand as we are staring at this thing in absolute shock.
As we rejoin the group proper, you see the red lightning streak across its surface before a bolt of it flies overhead, slamming into the wall and just passing through it without affecting that bit of stone. That's probably how the lightning got out of this crevasse in the first place. What will y'all do?
Is it supposed to be up on the main map right now?
No. I mean,
Okay.
the actual map's fine.
We're on the
Bella's
main
gonna
map. I'm
come
looking at
running.
the stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Bella would probably look at Dalton and just say, "Oh, shit," and just take off, going towards them because that's what we hear. And for mine probably means
Dalton.
fighting.
Yeah, Dalton follows behind.
Y'all round the corner, seeing Xanth and Varen only like 4 feet away, as y'all also see across the bridge the problem incarnate.
Yeah.
What the hell did you two do?
You really think I'm capable of doing that?
I honestly have no idea what you're capable of. I don't know what your powers do exactly.
She conjures a
Not
storm. Yeah, she
this.
conjures a small storm in her hand that is not red. It is blue.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. So what in the world is that?
Your
Who's
guess is
gonna-
probably as good as ours.
Someone's gonna have to tell the loud one.
I
Do you want me to tell him?
no.
He might kill you.
I mean, he's still collared, so
No,
I
right,
technically
with-
have a chance.
Cornelius just sneezes.
that
Never
far away.
underestimate a man with a very sharp blade.
Yeah.
That's not the first time I've been threatened with horrific harm.
Maybe we don't go that route. Of making him more upset. He just said everyone's gonna have a hard time sleeping if it's gonna be bad. Do we know what that is? That's a giant orb. Do we know
I mean, I'm going to assume that that's
what the
the
fuck's
rift.
happening?
I assume that that's the rift. Holy
And
shit.
since we haven't been shot at or killed, I'm assuming there's not anyone around right yet. Well, I guess do you all want to stay here and I'll go have the dog get me back real quick and then bring everyone over to see if we can figure out what's going on. I'm worried that that got taken back where we came from.
I'll go with you and I can stay and watch over. Unless she's up and out
Alright.
about yet, which I doubt.
I am going
Okay.
to advocate that we all go back, like we said we were going to, and inform Junie what we see.
If you want to do the talking, I'm completely fine with it. I will stand by the entrance of the cave and let you chat with your friend about whatever that is. He's going to be a lot to deal with. He already is a lot, and he's going to be worse.
Contrary to popular belief, he used to be a lot worse. I would not call him a friend, though.
All right. Your frenemy that you don't kill, the one that you seem to talk with, whatever you want to call him. The loud one is what I like.
That was one word.
We can just, I mean, I'm happy to tell him too. I think I'd probably just say, Oi, it's a giant, I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that just a giant orb? now? Is that
Hey, let's get back. Holy fucking shit. Varen, let it be known, Xanth has not let go of your hand. She just starts walking back towards the cave.
Yep. Just dragging Varen along as she's just staring at it a bit slack-jawed at this point. Just like, criminy crackers.
What of the others? Oh, they
Oh,
heading
Yeah,
Bella
back as
would
well?
make sure the dog's good and then go with them.
The doggo is along with you. They don't seem to like the orb. You think it might have
Respect.
insulted its mother with the way it's growling on it?
Respect, I get it.
But yet again, it takes a couple hours. It's not the longest trip, but y'all do manage to make the distance. It's probably been about 6 hours since y'all first left, making y'all's way. The blizzard is still blowing. It is getting weaker and weaker, but it is still there being a problem. But you'll do find yourself back at the entrance to the cave, thanks to the good Boofer's wonderful nose. You can see the
Bella's just
wall
gonna
that made up the barrier is still up.
Bella's gonna look at Xanth and just kind of do that fun, put her arm out and say, "After you."
I'll go. If I need to open it again, I will.
It's easy enough as you squeeze your way through, pressing your hand and twisting. The barrier becomes translucent again, and you're able to pass through, seeing Cornelius sitting next to the fire, and I think Ciel was up to something.
All I'm doing is just chilling with Cornelius.
Well, it's about time you guys got back. What have you learned?
Cornelius, you can see the look of. It's not victory. There's a number of different emotions playing across there, but it's not the emotions you wanted. So you know something has gone wrong.
Why do you all look like someone just pissed in your oatmeal?
I wish it was
Because
something
we.
that
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
put my hand over Father Dalton's mouth.
I didn't hear. I multiple people were talking once.
Let's go
What
for
did Father
Baron,
Dalton say?
since Father Dalton got interrupted and he has a hand over his mouth.
Well,
Fair enough.
what they were about to like? What were they saying before they got interrupted? Like,
You couldn't hear it over Baron.
oh, all right.
So Baron, repeat yourself.
I wish it was something as pleasant as someone pissing in my cereal.
Pleasant. What kind of weird shit are you into?
Don't judge people. That's just rude. Let's not start off like that, right? We don't need to judge anyone. You're fine.
Fair enough. I've been around quite a few brothels that had a lot weirder shit. All right. What makes you guys look like you have very bad news? What's going on?
Where's Junie?
I'm assuming still tending to our residence, locksmith.
I'll go get her. I can take over.
Fair. Xanth is going to suddenly
Bella's just
realize that she still has your hand. Let's go.
It is probably extremely heavily bruised at this point, since it's been a few hours.
And I heard a knockoff.
Bella's just gonna kind of stare at Cornelius, and I can't decide if her face is. I don't even think she's frustrated. I think she just kind of has a look like, when people are really culturally offensive in a country, just that type of like she's giving him that look, like you're just really uneducated, aren't you? Just that kind of stare at him. It's
You're
our
looking at
resident
him like he's a
locksmith.
stinky sock.
Basically,
At this point, I'm
she's just
used to
gonna
it.
pet the dog. Just gonna pet the dog on the head and just kind of be like, not only is he loud, he's a fucking idiot. He's An idiot. And he's loud. Great.
The dog has turned around and it is watching the door. It doesn't seem to like whatever's going on outside. It's been much more quiet and much more on edge. You see its hair has stood up. Its tail isn't wagging as much ever since the events in the near the bridge.
And she'll kind of see if the dog wants to go over by the door. I know it's closed again, but she'll go over and kind of just keep a listen while they're talking. And I guess I'm assuming Cornelius or Dalton or Sael probably sees her, and she's just going to point that she's going that way towards the door again, so they know where she's at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't keep us in suspense. What happened?
I truly do not want to explain this twice, so we're gonna wait for Junie.
Very well.
You see, Junie is a flurry of movements as she is drugging the ever-living hell out of Saelwyn. As you see little sparks of magic are moving along her skin. You see one go up her arm and Junie goes, nope, and slaps it.
Is that a magical feedback?
No, she's trying to wake up. And she's going to blow a gasket if she keeps doing it while the collar's still on.
Of course. The others need you. I'll keep her higher than a kite while you're busy.
You are handed a fly swatter.
Okay.
If you see any get close to our heart, smack the fuck out of them.
Easy enough done.
If it's attempting to restart it properly, and we can't let that happen just quite yet. Oh, this girl's always trouble. As she hops down from her stool and waddles out of the tent, still muttering about the annoyances of the renegade mage. Seems.
Well, she'll get to it.
So, the rest of the party sees the little mouse wander out. Still muttering.
So, Junie.
Yes?
Xanth is going to describe what specifically, not that it was a crater where the keep was, but will describe the orb itself. So that's a rift.
It sounds like a locked rift. Where'd you see it?
Looks at Cornelius and goes, "You keep your shit."
Why? What? Where was the rift? Where was this rift?
It was where the keep used to stand.
Cornelius just looks up at you, blinking slowly, like, what? So there was a rift where the keep was, the keep where my retinue was.
I'm
Let's see.
getting. I'm preparing myself to tackle Cornelius if I need to. Not in a very obvious way, but in a. I'm looking ready to fucking. I just want to be prepared.
Cornelius slowly stands up, kind of adjusts his clothing a little bit, straightens out his hauberk, make sure his sword is still firmly in its sheath, and all that stuff. All right, I'm going to go try to help my retinue. It was nice knowing you all. And Cornelius starts marching towards the door.
Xanth is gonna grab
right
you.
into a Bella.
He doesn't even get that far. Xanth is instantly gonna grab him. Are you trying to get yourself killed?
No, I'm trying to help my retinue. I can't just leave them alone in whatever the hell a rift even really is.
Cornelius, if you go out there by yourself, you're as good as dead. You can't save anyone from the grave.
Well, who's to say I was going to die? Maybe I would have done just fine.
If you go in alone, you'll be worse than dead. You'll just get corrupted.
And plus, you still have your collar on. You can't even help them really with that thing on.
Wait, corrupted?
Yes. Those that go into the rifts have a chance of being corrupted by them. It's why being a relic hunter is so dangerous. We go in group to make sure the effects of the rift are spread out over a number of people. It gives us more time in the rift before we start feeling the effects of it.
Why is this maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just did. Again, this caller is fucking with my memory. Why is this the first time I'm hearing of something about corruption? Weren't you explaining rifts earlier?
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to rifts. It
All right,
takes us
well, who's
2
coming with me?
years to become proper relic hunters. A lot of preparation, magical inlays, enchantings, bone writings. There's a lot going on. It's not an easy process either.
Well, unfortunately, I don't believe we have 2 years to prepare right now. Again, my retinue's in there, so when do we leave?
How exactly are you
When we're
planning on getting through a locked door?
Cornelius looks at Zan. Well, you're a criminal. Don't you know how to pick locks?
smack the shit out of him.
Look, Cornelius, at the very least, you are not getting out of here until we get the rest of your collars off. So, as much as it may be hard to be, you're going to have to wait. There's no point in trying to rescue your retinue if you end up dead as well.
Well,
Cornelius, I want to save them just as much as you do. But if we go in there ill prepared, we're as good as dead, and we're no use to anyone 6 feet under.
their point. But I want on record, I don't like it.
Nobody's writing
You don't
a
like a
record.
lot of things.
I think you know very well there are a lot of things I do like.
I say the record has acknowledged this, and it will not care. Go back and get rest.
Don't need rest. Ugh. I got all this energy now.
You got the energy? Put it to use. And Xanth is going to start swinging.
What, you gonna spar with me?
Roll it to hit.
That is exactly what she's doing.
You have advantage because he's not ready for it.
Do 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 do.
God damn.
Cornelius is getting his shit rocked. Roll me some damage. That's not
Oh,
crit
did
damage.
that roll?
That's
No,
just
it's
normal
not.
damage.
I just get punched in the face.
So roll another d4.
Where is? There it is.
You maxed all of those dice, by the way.
God damn.
Cornelius takes 10 non-lethal damage.
Cornelius like his head shoots to the side. He reaches up and grabs and rubs his chin. Well, I guess we started. He's going to take his sword off his hip with the sheath still on it. Let's do this. And he's going to
And
strike.
we just, yep. You go to strike, I go to dodge. We're just gonna rumble tumble. This is how we distract them.
Do I need to roll?
No, y'all are just throwing down at this point.
Yeah.
But what are the others up to while this is going down?
Dalton will probably just be watching the show and trying to take and internally taking bets on who may win.
Who's your bet on?
Xanth, she's uncollared.
Yeah,
Clear
100%.
advantage.
Even not uncollared, still on Xanth. Xanth would fight dirtier than Cornelius would. But Bella would be focused back with the dog on listening and trying to just see if she can get an idea of what's going on and maybe let it go for a few minutes before saying we have to refocus again since the dog's so agitated.
You can hear from time to time the sound of the lightning rumbling through the mountainside, and another thing you hear as the fighting behind them starts, the dog is starting to growl unhappily. It's low, so the rest of the party doesn't hear it, but you can hear it since you're right next to it.
Is the dog growling at them or the entryway?
It just seems generally annoyed.
I want to do that whistle. I can't do it in real life, but you know that really loud one that people can do where you put like two fingers in your mouth and it's just the most high pitched, annoying whistle of all time. I imagine
I wish
Bella
I
could
could
pull
do
that
that.
off and she's just
I'd
she's
imagine
just gonna let that whistle out. Yeah.
there's a whine from the dog as they're sitting right next to you, and they're like, they put their paws over their head.
I say, oh, sorry. I was trying to get them to stop real quick, and normally loud and high pitch works real well to stop fights, talk to the senses, and just kind of look back at them and say, dog's upset. We need to decide if we're going to go do something because she's getting more and more agitated, and your fighting is making her even more upset. She's growling now, so we maybe save that for a different time. I think that there's at least a couple in here who've probably seen a lot of cruelty lately, and maybe violence isn't working for him very well.
Cornelius like paused mid swing when you were whistling is listening. Very well. We'll have to continue this later, Xanth.
I want it to be known that Xanth 100% takes advantage of that distraction, grabs your sword, and basically just pins you to the ground.
I feel like that should be an athletic roll.
It is.
I could do with athletics.
All right.
Yet again, it would
24.
be at Xanth has advantage on this one because of the distraction, effectively the help action.
If you roll another crit, I will call bullshit. Not really, but I will think it's bullshit internally.
Okay. I rolled high. Always.
Oh, it's not always.
Often enough. How about that?
Did you roll?
It's taking a minute.
It's loading.
This roll 20 having a shit.
I don't roll off roll 20.
Ten years later. Okay, what the fuck?
I'm glad I
first
had
one was a
advantage because
4.
the first one was a 4.
As
I'm saying,
Cornelius,
what did I say though?
you react. You're starting to react, and you're moving fast. But Xanth has the edge on you. Gets your wrist in their grip and twists, shaking your ability to hold your sword as you lose its grip. Grabs you by the shoulder, presses forward, knocking you a little off balance, then sweeping the leg and taking you fully to the ground with a crash.
Cornelius coughs, spitting out like a little bit of blood. Oh.
You can
I
hear your
thought we were
sword
fucking.
clatter against the ground.
What was that? What was that, Cornelius?
I thought we were stopping.
Xanth tilts her head as she looks down at you. All I heard was a whisper, or a whistle, not a bell. But
Who
she'll
the he-
hop.
hell-
She'll hop up off of you and dance out of the way.
Cornelius like just pushes himself up off the floor, brushing himself off. You and your tavern brawling.
And what can I say? It's done me well. Xanth is gonna walk over and give the dog a ration treat,
They
hoping
completely
to.
ignore it. Their eyes are on the door. What is CL doing in the back, by the way?
DL is just observing. Lost in his own thoughts, I guess. Not doing much, just waiting, being
Alright,
patient.
Fair enough. Varen, you on the other side are having an issue as those blue lines are appearing faster and faster. Can I get a sleight of hand check?
Where can I open my character sheet? Thank you, computer. Fuck. I can't roll something else, can I?
Nope.
Like a medicine?
Nope.
Fuck. No, I'm using that DM inspiration.
Alrighty, take that MVP. It is all mine. Nom 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 nom. Give me resources.
I'll take that instead.
You are holding out, but it is getting fast. It's going slap, 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 slap. You are playing whack-a-mole in there, and everyone can hear it from outside as the fly swatter just slaps against Saelwyn's skin.
Listening, it just sounds like someone slapping something, like slapping noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope that isn't what I think it sounds like.
There is a worried call from the other room. Junie, it's getting faster.
Oh, by the mist. She's going to rush on all fours back into the room.
That sounds concerning. Xanth is gonna walk over, see what's going on.
As you walk in, you see Junie is climbing up the side of a stool while there is blue little lights streaking across Saelwyn as it attempts to reach her heart. But our dearest Varen is slapping the hell out of her with all of the little lights with a fly swatter.
One-handed too.
Whack, 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 whack.
Well, do you have a second fly swatter?
I
No.
don't think I can hold it at the moment.
You see she jumps off the stool onto her chest and starts moving across her chest using little spells here and there, trying to do something. You're not entirely sure what's going on here, but Junie seems to be trying to stop it.
There.
Cornelius pokes his head in. What the hell's going on in here?
Patients and doctors only. Get your damned nose out of here.
His head shoots back out the tent flap.
Xanth is going to step out with you.
Was Varen smacking her with a fly swatter?
I seems to be putting out some electrical currents. I'm not exactly sure why, but not a doctor, so
So what are y'all up to out there? Is Dalton up to anything?
No, Dalton is not really doing anything. If anything, he's probably mostly just sitting near the fire.
You know what, Cornelius is going to go to the supplies and check to see if they have any good wine.
They do not.
Anything alcoholic?
No, they got some mead and some ale, but that's about it.
Works for him. He's going to pour himself a nice, tall, frothy mug.
Fair. The time begins to pass as Varen, you eventually get kicked out as Saelwyn is starting to glow.
That's not a good sign. I could help with spells if needed. Okay, I'm out.
It's the magic's the problem. She's trying to regenerate herself. Fucking fool of a mage. It's not time
Could
for that.
counter the spell.
Adding more magic will just make sure the magic has more power. It's problematic. And you don't know enough about what's going on.
No,
Cornelius
love the education.
What'd you say, Varen?
No, but I'd enjoy the education.
We don't have time for it. I'll explain it later.
Fine.
Did Cornelius ever get a look-see at that crystal? Like, does he know about it?
Which crystal?
The one that unlocked the collars?
I mean, there's the key. I
Yeah,
don't think
crystal
you ever
key.
got a
And-
good look at it. No.
They never
No, you
told
were
her?
knocked out by the time the key started to become more prominently shown.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone ever mention how the collars were unlocked or anything?
I
Around
think you were awake when they were talking about it, but that's it.
Remind me, I'm still kind of foggy. The collars were unlocked with that weird crystal key thing you guys mentioned, right?
Aye.
It doesn't. It's completely out of uses. Doesn't have a single use left.
It could probably get one more collar off. The problem is that if it breaks, we can't recreate it. So, last resort.
Well, I mean, we can't, but could she do it if she had her collar off?
I think the problem with that is she built it in the forge at the keep, and if the keep's forge is gone, I don't know where we're gonna be able to get the supplies and or our facilities need to rebuild another one.
What Junie
And I
said
doubt she
is that
built
she
it there.
needs the key to copy it.
So,
Otherwise, it will be incredibly problematic to break.
so. Using it last resort, because then people are going to get second collars for a significant amount of time.
Plus, also these collars have a tendency of exploding, as that person learned when she took off mine. Even when that key takes it off, it triggers some kind of, well, she tried to throw it, it didn't throw it in time, and boom.
Ah, I see. Well, nothing for it. Might as well drink. Cornelius will take a seat by the fire and start drinking that big old tall mug of mead.
Don't drink too much. You don't hold your liquor very well.
As I should probably remind you, I was young back then. I have learned to handle my alcohol very well. Thank you very much. Things
Sam
change.
just looked at you in complete disbelief. He does not believe you.
Things do change in a decade. You know that.
She shrugs.
I mean, you don't change in a decade. You look exactly the same.
Of course they look exactly the same. I'm an elf.
Well, I'm human. We change.
Cornelius, are you drinking the whole mug?
I'm enjoying it. I'm not like just quaffing the entire thing in one sitting. I'm enjoying it.
Need a disadvantage con save.
The hell kind of meat is this if I'm getting a disadvantage con save?
Mead from another world. Your
You know what?
tolerance to your type of alcohol won't help you here.
I'm taking a hero point just because I don't want to have disadvantage on this. That's all I was just saying. Con save, you said, right?
Yep.
I'm fine.
You're holding
Thank
up, but you can feel a buzz starting to well up in your cheeks. Your cheeks are turning a little red.
After a hearty sip, I will stop and look down the mug. That being said, my God, what the hell is the alcohol content in this? I thought this was just mead.
Xanth will walk up and take it from you and take a sip, trying to figure it out.
It doesn't taste like it's all that strong, but you can feel the heat running through you.
This is something you keep in a flask, not just in a barrel.
It's probably because we're not from here. We're not used to this kind of drink. It would basically be the equivalent of being back home and you drinking dwarven ale.
Ugh, not doing that again. The last time I had dwarven rot good, I woke up with a goblin and an ogre.
Xanth is gonna set the drink to the side. So again, don't drink too much.
God, both. If that's their idea of mead, they could probably,
Cornelius, you weren't born here.
obviously. I was just saying they may think the dwarven rot gut is just water.
Wait, CL, what are you doing?
I'm just chilling, watching the
Like,
conversation. PL says, "How do you know each other?"
Oh, we used to be old acquaintances. And Xanth just looks at Cornelius with a smirk and a do you want to rat yourself out?
Yeah, acquaintances. That reminds me. You know that ring you borrowed from me, acquaintance? I'd like it back, please.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Cornelius will point at the ring hanging off your neck with the symbol that is lit. That was wait, he doesn't have his actual armor on him, does he?
nope.
But it's literally the symbol of a corn stalk.
Yeah, Xanth is going to hold up her necklace in which you see a singular ring on,
Which
and it is not the corn stalk.
I swear I saw it earlier. Where is it?
Cornelius, I think you've got a bit of a bump on your head. He pats you on the cheek.
Yes, where you threw me. But that's not from this. That has nothing to do with this. I mean,
He'll shrug.
It's at that point you'll all start to see blue light coming from the tent in which Junie and them are in.
putting a pin in this later, but what the hell is going on there?
Xanth looks over.
There is a blue light coming from the tent.
Pokes my head in.
You see that both the collar and Selwyn are glowing blue, and there is a lot of curses in a language you don't understand coming from Junie. 'Junie. 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 '
There's so much for these callers being a translator.
You don't even recognize it as a language you recognize, but you think it might be one even in your world you wouldn't understand.
Okay, so basically probably something like mouse folk.
Probably. You see Junie sit down in a huff.
She about to wake up?
We have about a couple hours, not for a rest, but that's about it. Seems like somebody won't listen to the doctor and stay sleeping.
I mean, after she wakes up, I could knock her over the back of the head and just knock her out.
I've already
What do you guys
tried
close
that.
up? Oh.
You know? The same to you, Cece.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember. She's of Elven descent, yes.
Damn. Alright. Well, sleep won't work then.
It might be best if you get some sleep then. Not much we can do about this, unless you want to go out and do something.
Not much to do until we can get the collars off. It's just asking for trouble. Xanth will get ready to go into a trance.
And what are the rest of the party? You all see Xanth go into a sit.
Baron's just going to go sit at the fire and watch it for a few hours just to settle her mind.
Cornelius.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
All right,
Seal will do the
Seal.
same thing.
Cornelius and Dalton and Bella. What about y'all?
Cornelius will. Oh, good.
Oh no! I was thinking. I wasn't talking yet.
I think that was for Akak.
Yeah.
Akak, what's up?
I was waiting for them to go,
I thought you
hanging
were
out. No, you and Blue started talking. I was just waiting for the two of you to go crazy.
Well, Cornelius will stand up, brushing the dirt from his pants. Well, if we're resting, I prefer the rest in comfort. And Cornelius will head back over to the tent he was sleeping in before.
It's not really comfort. There's a bedroll.
There's comfort in privacy.
And for Father Dalton?
Nothing really from Father Dalton.
And for Bella?
Taking it same spot with the dog.
The night passes slowly. You can hear the crack of the thunder outside from time to time, only reminding you of what is out there and how much you have to do in the unknown. You're in a strange world, in a world where you don't know all the rules. You're not properly armed, you're with people you don't know. It's not a good situation to be in, but morning does eventually come, and it comes with the sound of coughing.
Speaking that Xanth only needs the 4-hour trance, she's probably starting on breakfast, but hearing coughing will go check to make sure that nobody's like legitimately choking.
You walk in to see Saelwyn's on her feet, vomiting into a bucket with a lot of this strange blue liquid that seems to be laced with a lot of red.
Blue and red, the colors you never want to see coming out of a person.
Hey, as long as it doesn't look like coffee grounds, I think we're doing pretty good.
Nah, more like liquid jello.
Ew.
Chris. Well, that's one hell of a hangover.
You see her spit some more of it out. Better out than in. It doesn't like staying in my body after things like that.
I'd agree with that. What's going to be good on your stomach? You're going to need to eat.
I'll need their calories to replace the new growths. Or the new
All right.
energy.
So, high in calories. How are you with grease?
Fine.
Alrighty. So we'll make a hangover special. And Xant's gonna dip out and start rummaging through and just make the most calorie-rich grease ball that she can.
Bacon, corned beef hash, sausages.
Bacon, gravy, and biscuits. Biscuits and gravy.
The rest of the party is waking up at this point as well.
Cornelius is just like standing up in his tent doing his calisthenics. Gotta keep the Spartan fit going.
CL will just find some breakfast and see what everyone else is doing.
It doesn't take long before you see Saelwyn push her way out of the tent. Everybody does take notice that her eyes are still a little different. Instead of the normal eye you saw yesterday, you keep seeing those same blue lights flicker in her eyes. They seem more dulled than they were yesterday, but they're still there. And this time focused on her eyes.
Xanth is gonna hand her a plate of food and
She
some water.
is gonna scarf it down, barely breathing, just.
I will be handing her a second plate when she's done with the first.
She bowls through about 3 full plates.
That enough?
That's
Well,
better.
either she's
What'd you say, Cornelius?
insatiably hungry, or your cooking has gone a lot better than the one I remember.
I was always a good cook. Just not for you.
Fair enough.
So, what did I miss?
The rift opened. Locked though, so there's that.
Where?
Right on top of the keep.
Of course it did. You see, she stands up, cracks her neck, and stretches her shoulders before going back into the armory tent.
Xanth is just gonna start handing out plates of food. Cornelius, you get oatmeal and grits.
Well, wait, what is everyone else getting?
The same thing that Selwyn got.
I don't even get bacon. This is discriminatory.
You don't need the pampering.
I hardly call it having a rasher of bacon pampering. I eat protein.
I thought knights were supposed to be sturdy agents, but apparently they're flimsy as a fat lord.
The only ones that hold to that code are the ones that can afford to hold to that code. Trust me when I say you give someone enough gold, you can have them kill one of their family members.
You have a very dull view of the noble people, don't you?
Considering how many times I've fleeced them, what view am I supposed to have?
Hey, Father Dalton.
But
Word of advice: admitting to crimes, probably not a good way to get yourself liked.
but technically not in that realm, and what I did technically wasn't crime, it was nobles who had more money than sense.
That's pretty much 90% of nobles back home. That being said, people aren't going to take too kindly to it. I don't care where we're at. Nobody likes to hear that you're gypping people. That's not how you
Yes,
gain trust.
fair enough,
Oh,
and
Ella.
I can't buy and as much as I've sadly learned in life, I can't buy everybody.
You cannot. What's that, Bella?
Okay, Bella would probably just be walking up around this point to get the dog food and herself something, and she's definitely grabbing grits because grits are delicious. Um, just
That's
gonna look at Father Dalton and Cornelius and say, the two of you are quite perfect for each other, right? Because you are evidently too wealthy for your own good and are going to end up being one of those fat nobles that this little asshole over here is going to take advantage of. And then maybe the two of you will just end up killing each other and nobody has to worry about you anymore, right? And then just glance at Father Dalton and say, remember, we're supposed to meet like the rulers of this whole kingdom. They're probably a little higher above nobles, so a smart person would maybe spend a little less time talking about how you don't care about anything except for money and taking it from people however you want and boasting about all of the horrible ways you've taken money from people. And maybe the loud one over here could learn his servants or whatever their names instead of just calling them by whatever the title is and treat them like actual people for a few minutes. Maybe then at that point, people would be less likely to want to just bash your heads into the stone wall until you're both dead. And just
Oh,
gonna take the food and walk away.
you're one to talk about the names, calling me the loud one all the time. Know very well my name is Cornelius, and I do know their names. Thank you very much.
Bella doesn't even respond. She's just walking away with the food to give the dog breakfast and then just going to sit down back over by the door listening again or by the entryway with the dog. See if the dog wants to eat.
The dog will eat, but its eyes are on the entrance, just like I am watching. No one will get past my eye. I am Boofer McBooferson.
Bella
While
respects
rather
that.
crudely,
Hang
go
on.
ahead.
Go ahead, Akak.
Oh, I just said, sorry, I just said Bella respects that, the dog. That's all.
Gotcha. Father Dalton.
While crudely put, she's not wrong. Ugh. I need to put my face on if we're going to be meeting these people. Ugh. See, I crack my neck. All right, put on your fuck, what the hell do I call it? Oh yeah, put on your showman's face. Ugh.
I should mention, technically speaking, I'm not that kind of noble anymore. I've lost my title as I look at over at Xanth.
She shrugs. It's not like you deserved it in the first place, how you behaved.
That's fair.
Aye. The fact that I can say that you have honestly started to treat your help better, and Bella's seen how you've treated them thus far. You're right. You are growing as a person. Continue it.
If I can't have bacon, can I at least have some cheese for the grits? If we
Well,
have
since
any.
you asked, Since you asked nicely, she will pass you some, and she will give you a couple of sausages. Because you are
Thank
right, you do legitimately need protein. How are you doing, Vernon? Varen.
Fine. Hand hurts, but I won't hold that against you.
Let me see.
I'll recover in time. Just take a bit. Maybe it's working better now. She'll hold it up for you, though.
I'll give it a look over. Cece, do I need to roll medicine?
Go ahead.
Technically, you do have 8 on that if you want it. So you can get more crits. Crits to go with the grits.
And what were we rolling for again?
I'm
Well,
checking
maybe-
out Varen's hand.
What happened?
God,
to
now I
Verity?
want
I'm-
now I want grits.
Basically, I'm trying to make sure that I didn't actually break their hand.
Oh, the bruises. Okay. No,
Yeah.
there are definitely some red marks, a little bit of bruising, but nothing too bad.
Grits.
I'd normally recommend a little bit of bruise paste, but I don't have any.
I would use healing on it if it wasn't necessary for someone getting stabbed.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
I would use some healing magic on it if it wasn't necessary in case someone gets stabbed.
I don't blame you there.
You got some bruising. Luckily for you, there's something you can use right outside. A whole shitload of snow.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'd like to stay warm. And treating bruises with snow is not actually that medically sound.
Really? My old teacher used to tell me every day after training, just sit in an ice bath for a while.
An ice bath is different than snow that who the hell knows where it's been. Especially since there's a dog about.
I need a dex check from Bella. Cornelius, there's a pebble that bounces off the side of your forehead.
Ow! Honestly, what? Why is she so rude?
Don't be dramatic. I just tossed it. Don't be a whiner about it. You sound like a noble again. Gonna lean back, pet the dog, and just kind of relax against the wall again.
Anyway, moving past that very rude thing. I mean, yes, it's just avoid the yellow patches.
And then there's the mud and the insects and the bacteria, all sorts of things. Especially since I might need my hands to do some sort of healing and I'm not infecting someone else with it.
Well, you're the
Oh.
one with medical training.
I don't exactly have access to extremely sterile materials, do I? Someone drank the alcohol.
There's still a whole barrel of it back there.
Yes, minus a pint.
It's at this point you'll see Saelwyn come back with Junie on her shoulder. She now has a staff in one hand and has a bag over her shoulder.
Well, you look like you're ready. You're ready to go. Gets going.
Well, if the rift's opened up, we need to go deal with it. Junie, would you do me a favor? I can't pack up, so can you? Oh, sure. Is everybody ready?
Sure.
Xanth's gonna stand up, grab her weapons.
He's over,
What,
me.
what exactly are we doing?
We need to go investigate the rift.
Uh, okay. Are we sure that's a good idea when half of our compatriots are still not at full capacity?
If you want to stay here, that's up to you, but we need to head to the rift. We're duty bound.
I'm assuming you need to go to the rift to even have access to that forge so you can make more keys, yes?
Which forge were you referring to?
Well, the one that they mentioned, they mentioned the one in the fort.
The fourth that's been run over by a rift?
Yes. So I'm
That-
assuming is the fort still in there?
Possibly. Might have gotten destroyed.
I'm really hoping not, because again, still have people there.
Well, they're not there either way. They're either in the
What?
rift or somewhere else. I'll explain on the way.
Please do. And Torian stands up, tilting his plate back and scarfing down the rest of his grits and sausage.
Is everybody else getting ready?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Once everybody is up, you see little Junie clap her hands together and press them out in a very wide gesture and says, "Pack!" It is at that point you see everything start collapsing down, and then it starts flying into the bag Saelwyn has over her shoulder. In the course of 2 minutes, everything has disappeared from inside this cavern. Even the fire has disappeared.
Well, that's a handy little gadget. What is that? Some sort of bag of holding combined with some sort of spell?
It's a relic hunter camp.
Is that a common thing in this world, or?
For relic hunters.
My God, that would be so nice to have during all those times I've had to camp it in the middle of the woods.
You see Saelwyn goes to the wall, presses her hand, turns, and you see the barrier shatter. And then Saelwyn walks outside with Junie still on her shoulder.
Xanth will follow.
Cornelius is right behind.
CL will follow.
As y'all all slowly make y'all's way out, you see the blizzard has completely died down, covering everything in snow. There's a little bit of wind cutting through the air, but that's about it. It's much more clear out here than it was the day before. All right, if I had to guess, keep should be, or I guess the rift should be this way, yeah? She does indeed
And
point
we
in
can.
the right direction.
We can always also just follow the dog again.
The dog immediately trots up and starts leading away. Oh, that makes things easier. I wonder if they can smell rifts. That'd make it much easier to detect them.
I don't think she likes them very much.
I'd imagine not, but they'll be a handy skill to have.
You think maybe that's why the
Maybe.
dog was imprisoned?
More likely the dog was imprisoned because it came through a rift. There shouldn't be any dogs like this far north. You might find them down in the valley, but not up here. The dogs of this region generally have thicker fur and are generally a bit on the big side.
Oh,
They need to deal with the cold. You might have noticed it's snowing.
Well, yes, but how friendly are these dogs? Would you think?
Depends on the dog.
Interesting.
She is marching her way through the snow without stopping.
If I recall, wasn't there some mention of these collars being remotely activated?
Yes.
Xanth, when you and the party went over here, definitely did not see anybody wandering around, right? That could possibly activate the collars.
I mean, I
Not
still
that I
have
saw.
my head, so I think we did all right.
Just want to be sure. I would prefer not to lose my head.
Were you just saying last night how you were going to go over there and take care of everything all by yourself with your collar on? Now you're worried about your head exploding. You're strange little men.
Aren't me and Bella the same, like kind of the same height?
I don't think she's
I
calling
don't know.
you
Are you 7 feet?
short.
No,
No,
I wasn't.
I'm I'm 6'4".
Yeah. Bella's just about 7 feet, and no, she wasn't talking about your actual height.
Yeah, I don't think she's insulting your height as a person. I think she's insulting your height as the height of your character.
Yes, I figured as much.
Needless to say, I'm not an expert on the rifts, but when we were there, there's not much there besides the big orb. I don't think anyone's there anymore to blow our heads up. And if they are and they do, then, I mean, right? Our head blew up. We wouldn't know. We'll be gone.
That's a very interesting way to look at it.
I mean, I reckon after you've been in enough fights, you just kind of accept the fact that we all die one day. And, I mean, if you're lucky, you go out in a good way or way you want. And if not, then I mean, that's not good. But when you're dead, you're dead.
Fair, but I would still like to have an open casket.
So you're worried about your looks after you're dead? You think people want to have sex with your body? Because you're
I
dead
hope
and you
to
want
the
people to
gods
look at you
not.
and check you out the whole time.
I hope to the gods not. That would be very, very just wrong in all sorts of ways.
I thought that like knights all wanted a noble death. You wanted to die in battle. You wanted to like die taking down an enemy with a lot of blood and stuff like that. Why would you want an open casket? You want to make sure that you've been stabbed enough or shot enough, blown up or something, right? Feel like if everyone's able to look at your body, they'll just think you're spoiled noble. And then Father Dalton will be trying to take all your money.
Your run-of-the-mill knight, yes, of course, they dream of glory, of glorious death, all that kind of thing. Me personally, I prefer to be the one. I prefer to be alive to enjoy my glory of of my conquests.
Have you been in a lot of fights there, Sir Cornelius? You've been in a lot of battles and stuff.
I would say so. Can't really call yourself a knight, a paladin of Ares, unless you've actually fought.
Interesting. I didn't really ever think that war or anything had much to enjoy about it, conquest or not. It's just a bunch of things killing one another for no real reason, besides the fact that someone with more power said they had to. Not really much to enjoy about that or write home about, brag about afterwards. Just a bunch of dead that nobody remembers, except for the ones who loved them, right?
Well, it's not that
Unless you're
anyone.
making money off of it.
Well, it's not as if anyone back in my own home is waiting to hear from me. So what else am I to enjoy except the battle? And of course the fruits of my labor, the reward after the fact.
I don't know. I guess I've just never really seen a reward that comes from war myself.
Well, there's quite a few. There's the obvious monetary rewards, the gold, the jewels, whatever you can plunder from your enemy. And if you're fighting for someone else, they could offer land, a home, some sort of title, stuff like that.
You know, for as often as you've kind of given flack towards Father Dalton for being a little greedy shit, you're just as bad as he is, aren't you? Just in a different way. He's more honest about it.
I've never said I'm not after monetary gain. Anyone who tells you they don't want to earn anything is trying to sell you something. I'm sure Father Dalton can corroborate that.
Pretty sure you and I disagree a lot on that statement. I know plenty of folks out there who aren't trying to earn anything, they're just trying to survive.
And by surviving, they're earning their own life.
I was just gonna take like a breath and just go fall back with like Xanth and Baron and Sail before she just like picks Cornelius up and throws him off of a cliff.
You just happen to be
And
walking up along
not look happy.
a ridge.
She
So
just,
it'd be real
she
easy
just
to
is not
just
looking happy at all.
stomp on the
Yeah,
ground. The bit of stone you're walking on might fall, and he might fall to his death.
yeah. There's that weird thing that like if she didn't have a collar on, you'd be under the impression that she would probably look very different, but she can't do anything right now. So she's just gonna take a step back before she loses her cool completely.
After a while, the two fall quiet after their little spat. Is the rest of the party up to anything else as y'all are following Saelwyn and the dog?
I think Xanth is looking around trying to make sure that we aren't going to get jumped, but is also taking stock of everything, getting the lay of the land.
Fair.
Also seeing who's handling the cold well.
You see, you are high up in the mountains. There's a lot of mountain beneath you. You can see it leads into a large valley in the distance, but there are also other mountains that are cutting off your vision. You're probably in a range of some kind. Which makes sense based on what you have been told by the others. You remember it was called the Iron Spur Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't take long before once again the party finds themselves at the crevice that leads to where the rift is. Ciel doesn't even hesitate, slipping inside ahead alongside the dog, who's waiting just inside the door. Doesn't want to go any closer after that.
Xanth will follow right behind.
Ella would take up the rear if so. There's, and so that way we don't have like Varen or Dalton or anyone kind of exposed behind who maybe can't take a hit as well.
You'll see Saelwyn goes around the corner and just starts walking up the bridge. Doesn't stop. They're not really looking around for things. They are making a beeline for the rift.
The Ciel will follow. Close behind.
But he's got a lot of chutzpah.
Courage.
Courage. Well,
Courage. Guts. Cojones.
And who are you saying that, Saelwyn?
yeah, speaking that she's just walking right up to this thing. I mean, I'm following right behind, but
Chances of there being somebody here at this point is about 5%.
that's
With what
still
they've
not
seen.
0.
No, but that's what I have you for. If they're
Fair
able to
enough.
pull Riftborn out and they're able to focus you into one area, I'm willing to bet they can use the rifts for other things too. They probably used it to make an escape. So now that their area's been compromised, they're probably moving up.
Rifle.
But that still leaves us to clean up the mess. You see, she marches right up to the Great Orb, and it is massive. She crouches down and starts looking at the crater itself around the sides. Junie is going to hop down, wave her hand, and say, "Fire!" as you see the fire pit fly out of Saelwyn's bag, as well as some of the little seats that are around it, and set itself up, still blazing, over on the side.
I'm gonna study what Saelwyn's doing.
She mostly seems to be looking around. Investigating the crater and then going to the walls to look at the glowing red stone there that seems to have been affected when the rift opened. Xanth is following around Saelwyn, who's staying relatively quiet as they look over things. What is the rest of the party up to? As Junie's over by the fire.
Bella's just keeping an eye out to make sure that no one or nothing sneaks up on us.
Baron's stuck at the back with Bella, doing somewhat the same, but also keeping an eye on the party in case someone does something stupid.
I should also point out the dog has not come across the bridge. They're just like, nah. I'm good. Staying over here.
Yeah, I was gonna watch Selvin, see what are you doing? What are we doing here?
Seeing what kind of rift this is and how long we have before monsters start pouring out of it.
And as for our callers,
That's a secondary issue.
very well.
Let's see, there's nothing for me to do here but sit and wait. So that's what Cornelius is gonna do. He's just gonna not sit in the snow, but he's just gonna lean against something, possibly
I mean,
a rock, and wait.
There's no snow in here.
No?
No. You're inside a mountain.
Oh, we're inside the mountain.
Yeah, you were underground.
Oh, I thought it was like a big open area.
Yeah, it's an open area in the mountain.
Oh, okay, then he'll just like kind of sit next to the fire.
What is Father Dalton up to?
Father Dalton's not really up to much. If anything more, he's just making sure his instruments are in tune for whatever comes their way. That and also trying to keep warm. He does not like the cold that well.
You see, after going completely around the rift, it looks like we have at least a week. Much longer than that, I think the lock's going to start breaking down and the rift itself is going to start closing, which means it will purge anything inside, back out. Monsters and anyone else included. Save for any of us that were in it, we'll get stuck.
So we got a week till this thing opens, and then a little bit of time before it closes.
No, we have a week before it starts to break down.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So we have a week to get in, save our friends, and get the fuck back out.
Correct.
How do we start?
You
I call out
don't.
to the fire.
You don't have the training, unfortunately. Wish you did. It'd make getting through this quicker. Best estimate, if I did this on my own, it'd take me maybe 4 days if they haven't put anything nasty on it.
Why can't we just go with you? I mean, if we came out of there, we should be all right going back in it.
That's to open it. If I can get it open, we'll be able to... You see, her voice kind of trails off, and she seems lost in thought.
Right. So half of us are going to be stuck in collars forever, possibly. And then we're going to try and open this. We're going to try and go in there and most likely get our heads blown up when we do. Is that what we're looking at?
Saelwyn does not respond. It looks like she's doing a lot of calculations in her head.
I was going to go, Junie, does she know that she can't go in there with a collar on, right? They'll just blow her head up and then she just walked off to death for no real reason.
Well, I suppose that depends on where they are in the rift. They could be super deep in, which means we might have some time. Rifts are weird.
So you're saying that myself, PL, and Cornelius are just going to be stuck in these collars forever then?
Not necessarily. It shouldn't take too long to remake the key. It's at that point y'all see Saelwyn place a hand on the rift, and she gets sheathed in red lightning.
Oh, this can't be good.
Anyone else concerned about that?
Just hoping she knows what she's doing.
Bella's just
Xanth
gonna
is
stand
watching
there,
closely.
ready. I was gonna say Bella's just ready to grab onto her, whether that be because she's gonna get sucked inside that Bella's going with, or because Rift's gonna try and electrocute her and she's gonna pull her off.
Cornelius stands and he's also going to get ready to pull her off. Except he's not getting ready to use his hands. He's using half of his spear. Because if someone's getting electrocuted, you don't grab them by bare hand. You use like a piece of wood or something.
You
Oh,
can see
Bella go full tackle.
her body is
The way she
starting
do
to
it.
smoke.
Okay.
She reaches up, grabs the collar. You don't know how she gets her fingers under it, but she just rips it off, it tearing into pieces and falling to the ground. She then takes her hand off and kind of crouches down, still smoking.
That can't be healthy.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Can I do like an Arcana check to see if I can sort of decipher what she just did?
You have no knowledge of the rifts, which means there's no point of rolling. You don't know the energy she's working with.
Fair enough.
Your best bet
No.
is she channeled something from the rift. That's about as best you can guess. Because it is giving off that red lightning. If she's able to do something with it, maybe she used it on the collar somehow.
Channeling, you say?
I mean, that's what it looked like.
I'm gonna hand her. I'm just gonna look at her and then just casually hand her the key.
She stands up and takes it. Well, theory proven. Blondie, come here.
I'm assuming she's talking to me, right?
Is anyone else blonde other than the priest?
I walk over.
Not you, Father Dalton. I'm going to grab Cornelius and just like bring them in front of her.
Sorry, I have blonde hair too, so that's why I got confused.
That's why
I
she
was
said anyone else with blonde hair other than the priest.
I
Who
didn't even,
isn't wearing a
okay.
collar?
yeah,
Okay, my bad. I misread the wording.
didn't even give me a chance to walk over myself. What the hell? But all right, so Cornelius gets dragged over.
How are you with pain?
He's a pussy.
That's a great starter.
Honestly, again, it was 10 years ago. I'm fine with pain. I was trained to endure.
Uh-huh. Bite this. She hands you a folded belt.
Very well. Cornelius puts it between his teeth.
She puts her hand back on, and you can see her body start to smoke again as the lightning sheathes her once again before she grabs your collar as well and rips it out. However, Cornelius, I need a con save.
All right. Come on, Constitution. 12.
Cornelius passes out. As Cornelius, you feel every fiber of your being try to rip itself apart.
I don't think the belt would have held. It probably would have just fallen out of my mouth when I screamed wordlessly.
But you'll see, she does get Cornelius's collar off. And she lets
So
go
happy
again as
we
you
had
see her
to-
bracing her, or flexing the muscles. She seems to be in pain as well.
Everyone just sees Cornelius fall to the ground on his back. A look of rictus pain on his face. Every vein bulging. Every pretty much the look of someone who just experienced more pain than humanly possible.
I'm gonna check his
Baron's-
pulse.
Yeah, I was about to say Varen's going to sigh and put him in the recovery position.
It's going.
I pull out my fluid. I'm going to cast Healing Word to heal our resident person getting the collars off.
Do you see her hold up a hand? It won't help.
Oh, Apollo. Sorry. Just sorry. You look like you needed something. I
Oh.
sheathed my flute.
I wish it did. It physically doesn't help because the lightning isn't affecting the physical body.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Woman, are you taking fucking soul damage?
Not that bad. It's trying to rip me apart by the magic that holds me together. Oh, but I'll be alright. I've dealt with it before.
Not
Okay,
that
this-
bad.
Would possibly throwing it out here because you know more about this than I do. Would having someone that normally conduits lightning help you at all whatsoever?
Unfortunately, no, it's not actually lightning. It's the universe ripping
how about
apart by seams.
Or how about this? How about while you do that, one or two of us hold on to it so the damage is mitigated between between multiple people.
Unfortunately, you don't know how to hold it. It'll probably be better once you do, as your body's probably more attuned to it than mine. But we don't have the time to do that, as we need people to save. Or do we have people we need to go get? Oh, she smacks her cheeks. Who's next?
I think Ciel and Bella are the last caller people.
Go ahead, Bella.
I really fucking would if you just explained to us what to do.
We don't have enough time to do that. There's a lot of theory in it, and it'd take at least a couple months if you're highly intelligent. And that's really pushing it and cutting a lot of corners.
We'll walk back over and sit down in front of her since I don't think she's anywhere near as tall as Bella is to reach a collar.
Thank you. Ready?
Yep.
She is going to do it again as you see the smoke is getting worse. as she pulls Bella's off as well. Bella, I need that con save.
Oh, I think Bella's going to hero point this because Bella doesn't want to pull a Cornelius.
Bella
Oh, no.
also
Bella.
collapses. They don't fall as
I
far.
love that I have a plus. I love that I have a +6 in con, and that's how bad my rolls always are. So that's great. I only roll good if I'm fighting out Bella. Don't know why I try.
But Bella goes down as well. I'm gonna need a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to need to take a second to put Bella. She's a lot of dead weight at this point.
It won't take more than a few minutes for them to wake up.
Still, I don't need them choking on their tongues.
Fair. CL, was it?
Yes,
Ready?
but since
Right
Can't you
when
just-
she initiates this transfer, Dalton's gonna grab her shoulders and try to help. Even if it's just like being like a conduit, she sends the energy through, so it doesn't completely go through her.
Bro, you were told not to do
But
shit.
she hasn't touched anything yet. But CL, what did you say?
well, instead of burning yourself to a crisp, can't you just use the key for one final?
There's a chance we're still gonna
I mean,
need
since
it
we
for
have
those
to-
that were captured. Better to keep it as a last minute save, yeah?
All right.
And given
I
time, I
was
might
just
be able to copy it.
Not only that, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the pupper also needs their collar off still.
All right, let's do it.
Alrighty. You want the belt?
Nah.
Okay. She is gonna do it again, as she does not look like she's happy about this. There are starting to be red cracks running through her skin. And then she is gonna do the same. I need a con save from CL. CL falls down, but he stays awake as CL, every fiber of your being tries to go in different directions. You feel like a grenade in a box of china. And the grenade is trying to go, I'm not letting this go anywhere. While trying to detonate it. But you do keep consciousness.
All right, I'll try to keep from vomiting and sit down and try to catch my breath.
There's a thumbs up. But there's another issue.
Mhm.
When that happens, when Father Dalton grabs on to her arm or wherever he grabs her, you see all of the lightning on the orb suddenly shift, slamming into her. She screams as it courses through her, and she hits the ground smoking bad. Dalton, I need a disadvantage con save.
Well, I guess this is how we lose Blue's character.
That
Oh,
Cornelius,
I'm sorry, I was
this
on GM. I got a 17. I got 17 as my lowest.
Yeah. So instead of the 114 damage you're going to take, you are going to take 57 damage.
That's exactly my health. If I hadn't, I would be dead.
You'd need to double your HP again. You would have just knocked you out if it went any higher.
Yeah. The 114 is double my HP.
Yeah, you would have been in trouble if you hadn't saved on that.
Yeah.
So you see both of
Well-
them go down.
I am instantly going to spare the dying on Selwyn.
Has enough time passed?
Not yet.
And I'm going to dump healing into Dalton.
It
Since
doesn't
that
seem
was
to have any
pitched.
effect.
Okay. Well, and I don't have Spare the Dying, so you'll have to do that.
Does the Spare the Dying work on Selwyn?
No.
Ooh.
Okay, she actively dying.
Yes.
Okay, medicine check.
Yeah.
Sam's
and
gonna
I'll-
pull out a healer's kit and try and stabilize.
You feel Junie put a hand on your ankle.
Hey?
There's nothing you can do. She's on her own. It's just gonna be luck whether she gets back up or not.
Her soul's not in her body, is it?
It's not her soul. It's every fiber. The magic in her body is attempting to rip itself apart. So, either she holds herself together, or she turns into pure magic and dissipates.
So the same thing happening to the father?
No. It looks like it tried, but you Riftborns are sturdy. He'll probably wake up shortly.
I'm gonna smack him with a Spare the Dying.
Oh, you already did.
No, they
I
were
didn't
going
hit,
for
but-
Saelwyn.
Oh.
And when I say I kick him. Just bump it into him.
But after a few minutes, Cornelius and Bella, y'all start waking up, and CL, you start to stabilize.
What happened to Saelwyn? Anybody? What happened to Saelwyn?
Something magic tearing her magically to pieces. I barely grasp in like some expertise on it.
She was helping me. That's the last thing I saw.
And then Dalton did something. Yeah,
Cornelius,
that or the feedback was too much.
Cornelius gets up. Oh,
I thought I did that. So I didn't do that to her?
It could have been the straw that broke the camel's back, or it could have been Dalton. We'll never know. Unless she wakes up and tells us.
has anyone healed Dalton yet?
He is Spare the
We
Dying.
can't.
Cornelius is going to groan standing up. Should I wake up Dalton?
He'll wake up on his own eventually.
I thought he had 0 hit points.
We've already tried to pump healing into him. It doesn't work. I said him with Spare the Dying. We've done all we can.
I could try putting a pointed lay of hands on him.
You see the light cleric just look at you.
The Celestial Warlock looks at you too. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Bella is going to look at Xanth and say, all right, this might sound pretty fucked off, and I'm sorry for this. I think Selwyn's going to wake up, is the only reason I'm saying this. If she doesn't, though, that key, we're taking the collar off the fucking dog. Then she's going to look over at Junie while she's still laying on the ground, because she's been through a lot of pain before, and that felt very similar to not great. And she's just going to say, do we need to move her somewhere different so she's not just laying right here where she collapsed? Is there anything like that that'll help
I
make her more comfortable?
don't know. Honestly, I don't want to move her. I don't know if the chain moving through the magic that's in the air will affect it. Oh, I don't know. You see, she's kind of nibbling on her pinky. She looks very stressed by what's going on.
Junie?
Bella is going to go Bella's going to go sit next to Saelwyn and just in a soft voice, she's going to tell her a story.
Junie,
Yes.
starts explaining to me how this works.
Which bit?
Any of it. Pick a starting point. What magic just went through them. And I don't care where you start. But we're never going to learn if you guys just keep telling us we don't have time.
I'm not an expert on rift energy, but effectively how do I put this? Sometimes you can see reality as a fabric, and every bit of fabric has a thread, right?
Hey, that's how you.
Yeah.
Very similar to the story of the Fates.
I don't know what that is, so I can't compare to it. But the fabric itself makes up everything. The rifts are a rip in that, a tear where some kind of exterior force comes through, and the rift. The relic hunters are trained to be able to at least deal with it a little bit. We have to deal with it constantly bombarding our bodies while we're inside the rifts. The edges of the rifts are incredibly focused in this power, and it looks like it's attracted to the Riftborn. Um, if I had to guess, we have at least a little bit of ability to manipulate it if we've trained with it, like Selwyn has, as she's very interested in the way the rifts work, what causes them, how to manipulate them, and all that. It's a new field that hasn't really gotten anywhere, so not a lot of people think people know much about it. But my best guess is the magic overloaded when it tried to flow through her into. No, I have an idea. Lightning. You know lightning, yes?
Yes, I do.
Lightning always tries to go to the ground through whatever point it can, right?
Hey,
A small bit of electricity, the amount similar to a static shock, was trying to pass through Saelwyn as she was attempting to use it to do something to the collars. When Father Dalton touched her,
he basically acted as
a
a
lightning rod.
lightning rod.
So
Okay.
she had the full power of reality course through her, and we're not as durable as Riftborn when it comes to that type of magic. Does that make a little more sense?
Oh, we got paused.
Well, gotcha. And we're back. Sorry about that. We have returned as Junie has just finished their explanation about lightning and Father Dalton probably accidentally becoming a lightning rod.
All right. Well then, in that case, fuck, I wish I knew how to do the same thing in reverse to get her back to her fucking body.
She's in her body. That's not the issue. It's just the body's trying to pull itself apart.
You get my point, though. There should be some way in order to help.
Unfortunately not. Nothing but training really helps.
You would not happy to know how this training works, do you? I almost went into one of my other characters for a second.
By little exposure to the rifts, dealing with its energy and letting it run through you. It takes a long time to build up a proper tolerance.
I see.
If if it's okay, I think Bella would have probably wrapped up her fable and just gonna stand up, kind of shake off her little jitters for a sec, and look at Xanth and Varen, and I guess probably Cornelius, assuming that he has some healing stuff, and say, "All right, I think that we're smart and we might be able to figure something out. And by we, I mean those of you who have knowledge with magic and medicine. So I'm going to do this. If I die, it was my time to go." And she's just going to put her hand on the rift to see what happens.
I need a con save. Disadvantage.
At least it was better than I've been rolling.
Bella, you feel like you are holding a lightning rod as the energy starts coursing through you. You are going to take, instead of the 72 damage, I want to say that's 36.
So, question, CC. I did want to use detect magic right before Junie went into whole spiel.
Fair. Are you gonna normal cast it or ritual cast?
Eldritch Sight cast it, please.
You see something you've never seen before. Everything at least has some aspect of magic. Usually it's too small to really detect, but you see a void of magic.
That's not nice.
Coming in the form of the giant orb and the lightning it is giving off.
As in it's sucking everything away, or it blocks it from view?
It doesn't exist.
Hmm.
That
So
reminds
blind
me.
spot.
Pretty much.
Does detect magic have some sort of somatic or vocal component? I forget.
Not a.
Not even
It's very
this wouldn't.
Mm-mm.
So there's no way to know whether if you're casting that.
I think
No, this
there
is turning on a
way.
switch. And,
Let me see, because you just don't use a spell slot. Magic.
yeah.
That. Yeah.
It has vocal and somatic.
Yeah. So there
I
would
don't
be
know
a
if
vocal.
Eldritch Sight sets it off or not.
It would, because you're just avoiding the spell slot, because you still need to make the gesture and whatnot to turn it on. It just gives you need to effectively cast it through that. It doesn't use extra magic, but it focuses on your eyes like it normally does. You can just do it at will.
Gotcha.
Well, seeing Varen cast detect magic, Cornelius will.
Would you know that's detect magic?
He's using. No, I probably wouldn't actually.
He's casting something.
And looking at the orb.
That you'd be able to see.
Looking at still the orb and at Bella when she does her thing.
You see
Well,
as
then
Bella
Cornelius-
touches it, The void rushes through, and you can generally see at least a little bit of magic in a body as you see it get ripped away. Which is why
That
Bella
is
takes that
not
damage.
good. Ooh, fuck. We're in danger.
Cornelius is going to rush over to Bella, and he's going to
I think
remember
Bella
that.
would have let go.
Oh yeah, you were able to. It hurt like a
Yeah.
but you're standing.
Bella would. I mean, that was. I mean, like, I don't know. That was almost half her health, I think, right? And that close to it. And I think afterwards she would have just looked over at Xanth and been like, "Yeah, right." So it hurt a lot when she took the collar off, right? Like a lot. That was really painful. I felt like I was going to explode. This felt kind of like I grabbed lightning out of the sky and just tried to hold it in my hand. It was really, really painful. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm going to go ahead and sit down. And she's just going to go ahead and sit down. Take a minute there.
All right. So
Hang on, there's another voice. I think it was Blue.
Blue's muted. It was me.
There was a voice under you, I think.
Yeah,
Raven.
yeah. So Cornelius is going to go over, but he's going to remember that you mentioned that the healing spells weren't working on Blue. I think you said, right?
That is what Junie said.
So he's just going to put try a single point of lay on hands to see if that helps Bella at all. If it doesn't, then or if it does the opposite, then it's just 1 point. So it's okay. It should be okay. Hopefully,
It doesn't affect them in the slightest. It's as if there's
Do I
no
still-
wound to heal.
do
So
I
the
still
spell
spend
fails
the point?
No, the spell fails to activate.
Well, I'll tell you this, Bella. I don't think anyone could have helped you if that had killed you. So maybe don't do that again.
And now, Xanth, you were going to say something.
Xanth is going to look and go, all right. So, we're not going to touch that again. Because I'm pretty sure the only one that has any training with holding littoral lightning in their hands is myself. And I'm not used to that kind of lightning. That being said, I do have detect magic. So I'm going to look at Varen and go, what do you see?
An absence, a void. All I can say is it looks to be a blind spot. Is looking at it in a gas. It's not actually visible to this, at least. Maybe true sight, but I don't have the power for that.
I could try checking to see if there's anything divine or something about it.
Divinity shows up as its own, but this is something else. I can only think maybe the actual fabric of everything. It's beautiful and horrifying at once. I don't know what to say about it, honestly.
The energy is the rift comes through from the other side. Nobody's entirely sure what it is. We just call it rift energy.
Is it safe to move Saelwyn, I think, right? Yes,
We were
Saelwyn.
told we don't know.
I moved the father a little bit. He just kind of collapsed there as well.
Oh,
So,
you
I
can
mean,
see Dalton
I know
is
that.
starting to come to.
All right.
He is
Well, if
groaning
the
in
fire
pain,
was
but he
set
is
up
coming back up. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
with the amount of time, oh, I was just going to say with the amount of times that Bella's seen him by the fire, she'll just kind of pick him up and go lay him by the fire as nice as she can, because I don't think there's anything like besides some chairs, but just kind of put him there so he's not cold and just, I guess, sit right back down herself.
Father Dalton's body has curled up on itself right now. The dog is still on the other side of the bridge going, Fuck that. And Junie's watching over Saelwyn.
Ella will Father, after she sat down, I think she'd probably notice the dog and go, ah, damn it, and walk over to go check on the dog because she doesn't want the dog to be all by themselves either.
Yeah, they've been fine. They never came across the bridge. They're just on the other side watching y'all going, I don't
Yeah.
want to go over there. I don't want to go over there. I don't want to go over there.
I don't know if Bella wants to be over there right now.
Junie,
Yeah.
do you think it would be safe for me to move some of the snow from around Saelwyn so that they're not?
There's no snow. You're inside a mountain. You're in a
There was
large,
just a
closed
blizzard.
Yeah, outside. You're in a large, enclosed cavern.
Okay, we're in a cavern.
Yes.
The way you made it described, it sounds like we were on top of a mountain.
You're in.
Which there
effectively,
would
you
have.
went along the side of a mountain. There was a cliff into the mountain. You went into that, and there's a giant chasm inside the mountain, which is where the bridge is.
Okay, so we're in an enclosed space.
Yes. Very large enclosed space, but an enclosed space all the same. So there's no snow.
Okay. In that case, can I put the blanket over her?
I wouldn't. Any change in the magic might cause her to start breaking apart. If I see her start to come back to, we can do it then. I'll keep an eye out while you go check on Father Dalton. He should be waking up soon.
She'll nod.
But it is at this point, Father Dalton, you have regained consciousness. You are in pain.
Oh, ow. Okay, everything hurts. And this is not the voice you've usually heard from him. This is like a completely different voice. Ow. Ugh. What
I'd say it
happened?
does. I'd say it does really hurt speaking that it knocked the southern out of you.
What do you mean knock this? Fuck. Great. Well, there goes that. What happened?
You basically became a lightning rod.
You faced
Well,
the
that
wrath of
explains-
Zeus and came out the other side.
Well, that explains why it feels like I can feel my teeth. Ugh.
Gonna hand the father a ration.
God dang it! I worked so hard to keep that accent up too. Great.
It's all right there, lad.
I do apologize. People tend not to take this voice seriously or even really talk to it.
Father Dalton, I take this more seriously than the other one. Not going to lie.
The other voice gets me. The other voice makes it easier to get into parties and gets me more coins. So, take what I can get.
Fair enough. Eat.
Yep. He has the actor feat, so so that's how he's able to keep up that other voice so long and usually subconsciously. But after what just happened,
You know.
yeah, that mask crack.
Oh, that's completely fair and valid. All right. Eat that.
Okay. What is this?
It's food.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was. Okay, I think I got shocked a little harder than I thought. I thought this was something else. Never mind. He just eats.
Is CL up to anything while this is going on?
Um, Nope, just chilling.
Alrighty. Y'all start to hear a little bit of rustling as y'all turn to look. Saelwyn is starting to push herself onto all fours.
You're
There's a
right
lot of
there,
groaning.
lass.
You see her mouth try to move, but no noise comes out, at least nothing that you can hear. The little mouse is fretting over her as Saelwyn gets her knees under her and pushes herself up into a sitting position. Oh, that sucked.
Yes, maybe you should take a break.
Thank you for doing that for me.
You're welcome. Were you all right? I think I stopped it from charging through.
Me, I'm okay, but I think Father Dalton took a hit.
Sorry,
But we
I didn't
we
think I
were
could
more
get...
worried about you.
It's no worry. It was my fault for trying that. I thought I'm used to just using with arcane magic, so I thought the rift magic had the same principle. Clearly, it doesn't, and I apologize that it went through you that hard.
Oh, I didn't expect it to do that. Normally, it doesn't. We're interrupted. Wind channeling. The little bit I was using. Oh, apparently Riftborns are conduits. Oh. Okay. Okay, one more, I think, right?
Oh, you're not doing one more right
Yeah,
now.
no, let's just wait. I mean, we got some time.
Yeah,
Okay.
Not
we're
only
giving you-
that, but the dog doesn't want anywhere near this thing.
The longer we wait, the further away they can get. Or the more damage they could do inside the rift. I think I got about one more in me. If I keep it short.
All right. I'll Fella, you want to go get the dog with me, or
Goes with the dog.
she across the bridge? Okay, then I'll walk over to it. Say, hey Bella, it's time to get the dog's collar off.
I'll kind of look at Aaron and the dog and be like, Dan's already figured out how to do the riff stuff then.
We got to do it so we can get going.
All right. I guess she'll stand up and look at the dog and say, okay, now I told you that story to give you courage because we're going to have to go across the bridge and you're going to have to get that taken off, okay? So are you going to come with, walk by yourself, or do you need me to carry you?
The dog looks up at you just like, why?
I was just going to kind of tilt her head and be like, I will carry you across if I have to. You can walk on your own, though, if you want.
You see, they try to put a paw forward, but it immediately pulls back. They're trying, but it's a no-go.
If the dog will let her, she'll gently pick the dog up and do like the kid carry, like over the shoulder kind of thing, like how people carry their kids. Be like, all right, we got this. We'll go together, and I'll be with you the whole time. So will Varen, and just kind of start making the way across the bridge. Because I don't think she or Varen have any idea that Selwyn is awake.
Oh, you can
And
see
they
her
have
standing.
this figured out. Oh, okay. I didn't know if we could see how far across the bridge you can see into the cavern that they were in. So
I mean, you're still in... The other side of the bridge is still in the cavern, too, so... She's just standing in front of it. It's a big orb, but all of it's... You can see just fine, but it's not long after. Alright, I can do this maybe once more. Ready?
I'm gonna sit the dog down, right? Just in front of you.
Probably best to keep holding them. They're going to try to run.
Okay. And then Bella's just gonna hold, but make sure she does not touch Selwyn at all. Like let Selwyn know exactly where her arms are and stuff, and then tell the dog, if you're gonna bite me, try and do it in the arm. It hurts in the face. Just
You
kind of
see
nod her
the
head. Yep.
dog doesn't even do that. They turn their head and nuzzle it under your bicep.
She's fine with that.
Saelwyn starts to channel it, and you see instead of the white smoke that's coming, it is very quickly turning back. You can see her gritting her teeth through the pain before she grabs the collar and rips it away again, and immediately drops to her knees again. You can see she is gritting through a scream that y'all can't hear.
You're gonna end up killing yourself. Keep doing stuff like that. You need to every now and again remember it's okay to take a break.
If we had time, yes, that would be a good idea. But rifts can take a while to get through. We don't know what's on the other side, and we have a cult on the other side. The more time we have, the more we'll be able to deal with it.
But if you'd let me just give you an argument on the other side, if you're dead, we don't know how to get in or out of the rift. I touched it while you were sleeping, and it knocked me. I don't even know what it did, but it hurt like hell. So I'm just saying, every now and again, if you got to take a little bit, I get that they're in there, but if we don't have you, we can't go in and do anything. And so there's no reason to get yourself killed. You at least give yourself a couple days before you do that if you could.
Yeah. Well, they're gone now, and we don't have to do it. We have as much time as we need. But who's okay with a little pain? A lot of pain.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm here. Go for it.
Wait a minute, Bella. You've already taken a significant amount of damage.
Bella is
I'm
going
good
to
with-
give you a look, and her eyes are going to start turning yellow and look like she's changing. And she's going to say, I'll be fine. People who heal and have magic need to be able to heal and have magic. It's good.
Bella, I don't
Take
want
the
to
next
heal.
one.
Also, Bella, we can't really heal the damage these things do.
I
I can almost guarantee that I have probably a bit more life in me than any of you do. So I'll be good. I promise. Next time one of you takes the hit, I'll take it this time. Call it square.
If you've already touched it, it might make it worse. Best to use somebody that hasn't been affected by it yet.
Cornelius steps up.
Cornelius, you've
I-
been affected by it too.
I actually haven't. I haven't touched it yet.
You,
Flicks at your collar.
CL, or Xanth
Yes.
would be best.
I will do it.
Or Varen, I think. Oh, hey, shush. Ah.
Make sure you're pretty healthy if you're doing it because it hits you pretty hard.
What is it? Just what do I have to do?
I'm going to channel the energy through you.
See, right there. Channeling. Zen, I'm a paladin. Channeling is something I do all the time.
I don't know
Well,
what
it's
you've
just
been
gonna real quick
channeling,
go.
but I highly doubt it's this.
No,
So
I'm.
Father Dalton was right. Then yeah, we can help channel the stuff.
He's not incorrect. We just don't know how to help. Is the problem? That
No,
being said,
but
I'm
it's
not
good to
going
know
to.
that we're able to.
I put it this way: I'm not going to argue too terribly much harder. I am going to point out that I am the one that's the tempest.
Okay, go ahead.
But Cornelius, if you want to hurt like a motherfucker, go right ahead.
I'm
I
not saying
have-
I like pain, but I'm also not. But I am willing to do it so we can move this along, so I can go find my people. So, Saelwyn, what do I do?
Try not to die.
I do that every day. Let's do this.
Give me your hand.
And Cornelius holds out his hand.
She is going to enter. She's going to take your hand from behind, wrap hers around the back of your hand, and she is going to put it up next to. Okay, this is going to hurt because we don't have
I'm
time
aware.
to be subtle.
Subtlety has never been my. I'm assuming
I'm
that
gonna
right
put
there,
a belt. I'm gonna put a belt in Cornelius's mouth.
it did not help me last time.
It actually
Doing
did.
it anyway.
It stopped you from breaking your teeth.
I'm assuming I get stopped midway through my sentence by Saelwyn just pushing my hand against the thing.
She doesn't. She's waiting for you to be ready.
Oh, I'm ready. Let's do this.
She nods and presses your hand as you see the lightning all surge into your hand. You see a blue ring come around it, and it starts siphoning some of it away as the lightning tries to blast through it. And Cornelius, you don't know existence anymore. You are beyond the pain. You are back home. You see your mother. You see your friends. They are happy to see you. Your father comes up. He reaches out to you. How do you respond, Cornelius?
Father? What? Where am I? How did I get here?
You see he continues to reach out, his hand reaching for you. He says something, but you can't hear it. You can vaguely hear the sound of his speaking. You recognize his voice, but the words slide through your head without catching, without taking hold.
Cornelius will try to walk forward, his hand outstretched. Father, I can't hear. I can't understand a word you're saying. What's going on?
He reaches out and takes your hand. And then you see him start to melt as pain racks your body. As he grabs you by the forehead and you feel your skull starting to burn. As you can see parts of the skin starting to peel away around his hand.
Cornelius just lets out like just a truly guttural roar of pain.
The next thing you know, both you and Saelwyn are on the ground. But for everybody else, you see the orb is now warbling. As the blackness of the orb disappears to become this red circular portal.
Well, that's either a very good or a very bad sign.
Hey, Junie?
The portal's open.
Alright. Are Cornelius and Selwyn unconscious?
No, they're on the ground.
I am going
Saelwyn's
to
the
reach.
first to get herself back onto her feet. You can see red cracks going through from under her shirt up her neck and over her chin, and you can see it all down her palms.
Alright, well, hopefully you don't have to do that again. And I'm going to reach out a hand to help Cornelius to his feet.
That's the thing. What? Selwyn, do people normally see visions when that happens?
Oh, sometimes the body will go to a happy place to try to avoid what it's doing to him.
I don't know about that being a happy place of mine, but it's nice. It's nice to know that that is where my subconscious takes me. Oh, that hurt more than when I broke every bone in my legs during training. I think that hurt more than any injury I've ever gotten in my life.
Well, you ready to go through?
Can you give me 10 minutes?
Yeah.
If we're going to through a portal, and it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, I think you mentioned, right?
That's one way to go about it. I don't think
Then
it's
we're gonna be.
technically inside. I think it's goes somewhere else.
Well, then, just in case, give me 10 minutes. And Cornelius will take Xan's hand for the hand up, and he's going to start casting something. Yes, I am casting Find Steed.
Gotcha.
Fair.
Can you give me
Well,
a horse thing so I can put my image on it?
Yeah, give me that.
once she gets you up, sees what you're doing, nods. Xantha's gonna walk over, like jog over the bridge, and I'm just gonna. I'm basically going out to like the front of the cavern
Mm-hmm.
to get to the snow. And I'm going to start shaping water so that I could get some. I'm basically refilling water flask.
Fair.
Um,
Avoid the yellow snow.
it shouldn't be too hard. I'm shaping water, so we're gonna go with it. I can specifically just get water before bringing it back. It should be cold, so having that looked hot. So try and cool down core temp.
Fair.
Sip, don't drink fast. You'll put your body in the shock. And hands over the water flask.
Can you make it so I can edit it? I have a token for it.
Yeah, you should be able to.
I can't.
Oh no, I put it in the wrong one. No, you should be able to.
You have no power here, cornhole.
No
Sorry.
power.
Felt like the time for Lord of the Rings. I apologize.
You have no power here, Gandalf the Grey.
But y'all see Saelwyn straighten up. Alrighty, crash course. Nobody entirely knows what's on the other side of a rift. Some think it's a portal to other worlds, universes, dimensions. Nobody's entirely sure. Others think it's a construct of the rift itself, made through innate magic or something, or the rift magic found within the rifts. All we know is that they are stable because of a rift core that can be found somewhere within the rift. We take that rift, it will shut safely. It won't depose of what's inside, and there's no chance of us getting caught in it unless we are away from the core when it is taken. We need to be together when that happens. Let me reiterate, we need to be in a group with everybody that is still alive when we take the core. It will make a bubble around us as the rest of the rift starts to collapse, and it is in that point, and only that point, we will be safe. If you are outside that bubble, when the rift comes down, you will be lost inside the rift. No one has ever returned from being lost in the rift. Do you understand?
Crystal.
Noted.
Got it.
Basically, don't split the party. I'll basically say is do not split the party.
That's one way to go about it. The most important thing is, if you have split the party, find your friends before you touch the orb. We call it a rift stone, but it's going to be an orb, usually rather decorative.
All right.
Understood.
Noted.
And there's also no way to know what's on the other side. We could be deep in a dungeon, we could be underwater, we could be high in the air, we could be in a world where magic doesn't work the same way it does here. Anything can happen inside a rift. Hell, we could be in your world for all we know. All we know is it's dangerous. We need to find the rift stone. Are there any other questions before we go through?
Should we all hold
No.
hands?
If it makes you more comfortable, there's no guarantee we'll come through together.
Oh.
If we hold hands, are we going to come through together?
No guarantee.
All right, I say we hold
I
hands
think
anyway.
that Xanth and Cornelius should hold hands just because it might feel more comfortable. I was just gonna wink at you both. Be a complete fool.
Pretty sure Cornelius is still casting his spell at this point.
Yeah.
It takes 10 minutes.
I think I'll act as a barrier between them, as long as someone doesn't try to break my hand again.
Apologies.
Here, I thought you were gonna hold my hand, Baron. She's just I was gonna reach out and grab Sail's hand in one hand and Father Dalton's in the other and say, "Oh, and these two fellas."
All right, let's go.
We have to wait for Cornelius to finish. But another thing, I'm going to suggest Juniper or Junie and I go first. I don't know what's going to happen to the rift when you lot go through.
Fair enough.
All right.
But we'll go
Do
through.
we just walk
wait
through?
2 minutes and then come through. Yeah.
All
This
right.
is the easy part. Getting back out's the hard part.
Not
There
the
isn't-
first time I've escaped the cold. What's one more?
There's no other
And you
way
say
outside.
that now.
There's no other way out
I
of
was
the
just like, you
core.
say that now till we go in and you gone.
There.
There's
Dylan?
no other way out of a rift except by retrieving the rift stone. So if you want to stay behind, this is the time to choose.
All right. Let's get this over with.
She looks to the other. Is everybody else coming? Cornelius, you're about to finish casting by this point.
At the end of my casting, I give a shrill whistle, and a large steed that looks like it has a flaming mane, but it's purely illusionary. It's because the celestial war horse comes galloping over.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Let's do this.
You go in, we wait 2 minutes, and we go in.
Yeah.
Before we go, I just realized something. Cornelius will turn to Judy. You wouldn't happen to have a horse barding or something in that magical bag, do you?
No.
All right, Bullcephalus. It looks like you're going in raw.
Phrasing, Cornelius. Fucking phrasing.
Saelwyn shakes her head, scoops up Junie as the fireplace and chairs jump into her bag before the pair of them step through. You see the red lightning surge over it as they pass.
I guess after they go in, I was just gonna say, all right, when the kids around you, everybody hold a hand and then wine. I say we go in that way. We just hold hands and go one at a time, right? I don't know if we can all go in together, side by side, maybe. They didn't tell us that part.
Is the portal big enough, or is it more for like groups
Oh,
of 2
yeah.
or 3?
Oh yeah, all of you could be side by side. This thing took the entire fort.
Perfect. We can just Red
Geronimo?
Rover line up, hold hands.
The dog
Walk through,
takes
yeah.
Bella's other hand.
Oh, for sure. I was thinking Bella just had the dog being held at this point. Just put the dog down.
Fair. But y'all are gonna step through as
Well,
a group?
Yeah, well, though, with Cornelius on a horse, Xanth is gonna go. On the off chance that he doesn't get left alone, and she's gonna hop on the horse behind him.
Bella's just gonna laugh and say, I told you two would be holding hands.
Bella just gets a look.
Still shrug.
Cornelius just puts his hands on the mane of the horse because he doesn't have any saddle or anything on him right now. Well, just try to hold on tight, Xanth. Bullcephalus can be a little bit jerky.
You say that's like I haven't thrown the horse with you before.
Well, I didn't have Bullcephalus back then. Seriously, it's like you don't understand the concept of time.
Hey! There's
I'm
still.
pretty
I
well-
know how to ride the fucking horse.
Bella
This is
also like lean back, make eye contact, and go, "Is this his name? An ST? Is that what he keeps saying?"
what was that, Alcock?
Bella wanted to look at Baron and ask, "Is his horse's name an STD? An STD?"
It does often sound like syphilis, but I'm not surprised with his character.
All right, I was just making sure I wasn't the only one hearing that.
Out of curiosity, out of character, you guys know I'm saying Bocephalus, as in
Yes.
Alexander's warhorse, right?
Yes.
Yes, it just sounds close enough to syphilis out of character
That's what I
where that came from.
Oh, thank God! I thought you were hearing something completely.
No, it just sounds close.
But is
Ciel
everybody ready to
looks over
That's
do
at
all
Bella
befitting.
and nods.
I heard a Ciel. What's up?
I look over. He looks over at Bella and he nods. Yeah, that's exactly what I heard.
Okay.
But y'all step into the rift and you don't really feel anything. There's a little bit of pain, but not much compared to everything that's been going on. But everything goes topsy-turvy. You get a little nauseous before suddenly you find your feet hitting solid ground. And you find you are nowhere near where you were before. Because now you stand in the middle of a market. And that is where we're going to end it. Good job, you guys. That was a lot of fun. I was glad to have you along. And for those listening in, we thank you for joining as well. And if you still want some more D&D, come back in about an hour. We'll have another run. Y'all have a wonderful night. Peace.